Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the f*** are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
All right, welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We are live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. Go to samtripoli.gold, use the promo code TINFOIL, and you too can get in on the precious metals game just for $50 a month. That's that simple. Hey, real quick, guys, I wanted to tell you about my new crowdwork special. It's called Black Crack Robots, and it's about Tacoma. And if you go to the comedy of Sam Tripoli or Sam Tripoli Comedy on YouTube, Twitter, samtripoli.com, it's all there. Enough of that. Let's get into it. I met this young man in the middle of a hurricane. Cows were just getting chucked all over the place, but we sat there with Nephilims, who Kurt Metzger, who made us all look like children. It's a real optical illusion, that picture, but I got to meet him, put a face to the name, and I'm very excited to have him on. Please welcome to, for the first time, hopefully many time, Seven C's. How are you, brother? Welcome to the show.
I'm excellent. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Anytime, all the time. So Seven C's, there's a lot of people familiar with your awesome Twitter account, but for those who may not know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just a guy that tends to notice patterns a lot, and the last couple of years I've kind of had like a lot of time to myself to kind of look through things and figure some things out. I guess it was like a second waking up moment, because I ended up figuring out, I think, like the big picture, had an existential crisis for like a week, came out on the other end and was better for it.
Sometimes you got to go through it to get to it, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you got to get broken down to be built back up.
Yeah, it was one of those things where like I was looking back, a couple thousand years ago and just like trying to piece together some things and just had to go lay down afterwards because I was like, oh, everything's just fake. And it's always been.
No, that is the truth. And the sooner you get to that, the sooner you understand that almost all of your culture is manufactured false reality perpetrated by dark energy that's meant to, like I was just in between shows. I had ESPN on, and they gave this one chick her own show. And, I'm happy for her. She's done nothing to me, so I have no ill will towards her. But, in life, we always believe that people are meant to be given stuff that they've earned. And then through this DEI and all that stuff, that's not the case anymore. And it drives people actually crazy.
Yeah.
It drives them crazy. And that's the false reality, is that this stuff that's pushing forward, it's all completely manufactured. Everything is data. They're doing data on you when you're a tiny little kid. And, you're a psychopath. You're a genius psychopath. We're going to use you to position you in power where we know you'll slit your own mom's throat to get in head. So those are the people that push. They push, and then they find people like them. There's a real reason why so many assholes make it. Now, there's good guys that make it. This show's one of them, okay? And they work very well. But the big people, they're super compromised.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Many, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's I have like webs and webs of the wellness companies, like a huge one. I think that's probably the one people are slowly starting to wake up to now. But even like institutes, NGOs, different things, like everything, I think is, if it's not a bot, then it is bot, basically.
Most of your Twitter is just bots trying to piss you off.
Yeah. Dead internet reality these days.
Dead internet reality, 100%. That is a great description of it. So where can they find you, by the way?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I'm somehow still snaking by on YouTube. which I don't see happening very much longer, and Rumble. I'm trying to work out Odyssey, but for some reason the live streaming thing's weird on my end. It's probably a me problem, but hopefully getting stuff there soon. And then Substack, starting to write articles and stuff as well.
I I upload to Odyssey and I upload to Substack. I don't get any views over there, but I like to help them put as much content there. So if someone does wander over there, they get the real stuff, the good stuff, that they'll see there's a ton of content there. So I do it. I don't get any views over there. It's just I don't know what to do. Maybe it's because I am on everything. YouTube, God bless you. I think YouTube to the newer content creators is kind of giving them wiggle room.
Yeah.
Old guys, they still pound on. We want to start a new YouTube channel. We were very blessed that a fan was uploading it for the longest time, so we had plausible deniability. But that is no longer the case. The gentleman or the woman, I think it's a guy though. He got his life got really busy, and we're happy for him, and we appreciate what he did for us for a very long time. But yeah, I mean, like it's crazy. And whenever something goes weird, you're pretty sure it's the lizard people that are with you, and then you're like, oh no, it's just I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
That's how it goes all the time. So what do you want to get into, buddy?
Well, I have a couple things that I've mapped out. Technocracy is like the main thing that I kind of focus on, and just sort of like this coming technocratic agenda. I know you've had a couple guests on this week talking about it, but maybe I can, kind of reframe it in a different way.
Never gets old, dude.
Yeah.
Never gets old.
So, with like the Donald Trump presidency and his close association, obviously, with like Elon Musk and bringing in Doge and Peter Thiel, I slowly started digging through different things and kind of formulated my own, like what I believe is kind of close to what the model will be for like what they're wanting to do with us. And I kind of put something together, and I've attached like different articles and headlines and stuff like that kind of go through everything. I'll share my screen.
Okay. As you're doing that, so this video's come out where a woman is talking to a gentleman. He's the host of the show, and she's talking about how if you signed up for the what do we do, Johnny? Pre-check.
Yeah.
If you signed up for pre-check at the airport, you have basically signed up to allow all of your data to be mined, that they don't need warrants. They can just go through it. And my whole thing is, and this is, I sent to Eddie because I thought it was hilarious. He's like, they got it anyways. And that's why I do believe. I believe they already have all your data anyways. If you are on this in any way, they are listening to everything. And they may not be monitoring it at that moment, but what they're most likely doing is data storing it to when you do become what they think is a threat to whatever they want to do. Then they'll go through it, and then they'll be like looking for words and stuff like that. So I just put everything out there, like
your stuff's also out there if you have 23andMe. People have gotten caught without getting 23andMe because they're so closely related to someone, and the cops had their blood, and they're like, this is way too close, and then they start doing some research and like, oh, that's who killed so and so. So
yeah, that's the Golden State Killer or Golden Bridge Killer, whatever it was. Yeah. So that's my whole opinion. Is like
they got it.
If you're on the internet, if you're on your phone, they got you. Whether they're doing it legally or illegally, they are doing it. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that is the reality of the situation.
Yeah, and when I talk about like the fact that they have like this total information awareness, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're blackpilled," and it's these are the same people that were like, "Facts don't care about your feelings," like 2 years ago. I don't know what happened to that. But it's crazy because like the cognitive dissonance. I know it's not anything that you guys obviously see it, I'm sure, but just the level of like disconnect between the MAGA crew and not being able to see like Doge is technocracy 2.0, like they tried to do 100 years ago, and like the RFK Maha thing, and the false hopium, the small wins and stuff, the concessions that they're doing, just trying to throw us a bone. It's a
Placate
lot.
us.
Yeah, yeah. I feel
Everything
like,
is a psychological operation.
oh yeah,
Everything that is. I have this theory that if a political story makes it to ESPN, that's a sure sign it's a psyop.
oh yeah, yeah. Basically, if it's on TV, it's fake. I actually I posted something earlier today that was like we have a fake or like a paid reporter asking a pre-written question to a fake or a false leader that won a fake election with a pre-written answer to fake fight with Netanyahu on television. That's how
I
fake it
mean
all is.
that fake fight with Netanyahu probably was the most damaging thing to Trump's credibility with his base.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the Republican Party, well, at least the older demographic is very much Zionist, and they're very much fine with that.
Yeah.
But they're losing the younger generations that are very savvy.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering, like, with everything that's happened since the October 7th date, if all of this is sort of like another side,
Gotta have like
in and of
flares
itself.
in it and all this.
And
That was weird. Go on.
all good. But essentially, like, keeping all eyes on Israel while they quietly build the technocratic state, like in Europe and here in America and things like that, so that they can scapegoat Israel once everything's done.
Interesting. That this is a bigger play. Is there any part of you that thinks that there may not be an Israel after it? That maybe the whole play has been to just move everybody to Ukraine?
I am a huge fan of the theory that Israel is going to eventually expand its borders to touch
Greater
Ukraine.
Israel.
Yeah.
So you think there's going to be Greater Israel and a Ukraine, which is Israel 2.0?
Yeah, like I believe they're slowly working their way up north. They've already like discussed things about Turkey. Obviously, there's things going on with Syria and just like the direction that they're moving. They're moving out in all directions, but it seems to be like they're slowly making progress moving north now. And I think that eventually they'll kind of be right next to Ukraine, and then they just capture that entire like central trade point between Russia, Europe, Africa, South.
It's all
America.
trade routes.
Yep.
Everything is trade routes. It's all British Empire, black nobility controlling trade routes, which is what the Khazarians used to do way back in the day. They controlled that section of Silk Road,
Yep.
and they locked that down, and that's how they made their money. So when you get into that, there's not enough in the world to be able to control Greater Israel and to control the Ukraine, which is so obviously that's where the third pillar of the three pillars that control society, which is again Rome, Bank of England, and Washington D.C., and that's where they're going to use us, our children, our sons, our daughters, to control those lands.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even now we're starting to see like, the whole dog and pony show of getting us into like conflict with Iran just as an excuse for us to have military support over there, boots on the ground, things like that. So,
I just think it's going to get either to the point where there's no jobs,
yeah.
and which is exactly what they do. There's going to be no jobs for anybody, so the only job will be available is to join the military.
Yeah.
That will be the only job. They're going to use AI to wipe out most of the blue collar and white collar. I'm telling you, everyone's worried about manufacturing being taken by AI. Managerial jobs will be used by AI. So all those jobs will be gone, right?
Truckers are done.
Yep.
Every job, it's all gone. Yeah, you're totally right, Sam. And also, maybe not even military, maybe just UBI. Just on the teat, just enough to keep you from pursuing your dreams. You're just comfortable enough to stay put and shut up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and also make you fat and dumb so you don't know there's better out there.
No, about that. It doesn't take much. Couple DoorDash a week, some video games, some weed, some liquor.
And then you're just your AI porn girlfriend.
Yeah, you'll be
AI porn girlfriend. But at some point,
Government pussy's not going to be good. AI UBI pussy is not going to be good, dude.
GIP.
Dude, it's going to be horrible. You're going to want to upgrade. It's going to cost money to upgrade. Your subscription is going to be overdue.
But the question becomes, if we're having this giant depopulation situation, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Again, if we go into everything's fake, you know, who's gonna what is the purpose of anything? How are you gonna have any soldiers if nobody's having kids?
I think they're gonna replace us with the humanoid robots. Elon said that we're gonna have more Optimus robots than people by like 2040.
And that'll be true on the front lines too. You're seeing it now with
So you're gonna have robots fighting robots.
Elon Musk is really off with his times. Very off. We were supposed to be in Mars, I think, by now.
Yeah.
He's really off with his time. So at 2040, I'm not saying it's not true, but 2040 is literally 15 years away. I don't think so.
Nice math, buddy. Good job on
that. It's that brain supreme.
What's it called? Andril, that it has all the autonomous flying drone. I mean, they're not really drones, though. They're like fighter jet, like an autonomous. He got the contract for the autonomous fighter jet and beat out all of the all of the mainstay contractors for that kind of shit typically. And his whole view of the future is an autonomous defense system. Because there's the way that the military operates now, they have I can't quite remember the name of the policy, but the policy in effect is that there has to be a human in the chain somewhere, in the chain of command. Like there's no autonomy for technology in the military right now. But if guys like Palmer Luckey have their way, and he said that he kind of disagrees with that policy because it slows down the thinking of these things, then it'll just be, you'll have out there AI reacting to other defense AI on their own, and kind of doing all these moves and counter moves in a second. And then we won't even know about it until until whatever has happened, whatever engagement is going to happen has already happened.
So Johnny, so that whole thing where like a human being in a robot acting like it's suit, that's not really going to happen, you think? It's going straight to AI?
I think it's going to be...
What do you mean, like augmented, like people in like a mech almost?
Yeah, like a soldier with an unmanned soldier versus an unmanned. You think that's going? You think it's going straight AI?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I have seen tech like they're pursuing that, but mostly in like factory settings and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying, like augmented humans, right, on the front.
Like those robots, like an Optimus Prime with someone in it, type of bullshit.
No,
I don't think.
This new show on Apple TV is called Murder Robot.
Yeah,
it's basically a robot that tries to act human. That's what you're gonna get to.
Yeah, he's a robot that's hacked his own interface to become free. Basically, he can do whatever he wishes now. But he's a security robot, so he doesn't want to draw suspicion. So he kind of keeps pretending that he's a security robot in order to eventually escape. Is his plan. But yeah, we're gonna get to that for sure.
I think there's this thing called the enhanced games that like transhumanists were trying to get into, and I think that's gonna we're just basically gonna be like the entertainment.
What is that?
So there's like no rules against. They actually like actively encourage like performance enhancing drugs and steroids and
yeah. Let's go, dude.
You can do.
Your boy Peter Thiel, right? He's the guy behind it. It's like do all the drugs.
Yeah, it's I believe he was in like the original pitch for it, and it's been moved to like Australia, but they're supposed to have the first one May next year.
I gotta say, baseball was better when it was enhanced.
That's true.
Everything was better when it was drugs.
I mean, Sosa and McGuire, that was one of the best summers of baseball. My life.
Rock was better. Television was better. I'm not saying you have to be high to be great, because I don't think you do, but there were more outlaws in it. And then once the rich kids, here's what happens. Outlaws create something because it's all they could do. And then it starts to form, and then the money comes in. And when there's enough money, rich kids come in and overtake it. This is what's happening in stand-up. Rich kids come in, overtake it, and then sanitize it. They get rid of all the outsiders. They get rid of all the outlaws, and they make it corporate. And then it just goes to shit. And everyone's like, because we'll always love empty calorie shit. We'll always love it. It just doesn't make you think. It allows you to turn your head off. But I think people are going to want to get back to authenticity. That's my opinion.
I mean, I just watched a video where Johnny might know about this. It happened with streetwear. Streetwear was what people would wear it from the streets, and then it became really the rich kids are wearing it, and now nobody wants to wear Supreme no more. So now it's going back to wearing vintage clothes. Something that it's hard to find. You really have to have a collection. You have to have had it for a while, which is crazy to think that you're right. Even with street clothes, it starts off with the kids from the hood, and then eventually the kids from the hood. Oh, you look cool, and then the rich kids have it. And now Louis Vuitton has a thing with Supreme that we can't afford.
Yeah, well, and also the resellers get stuck with what you're talking about. You get resellers in there that ruin everything because they're the first. They pay people to wait in line for these releases and shit, and they gobble up all the stuff, and then only rich people can afford to pay resell. Anyway, that's a tangent.
Holy cow, everybody. Bitcoin is almost at an all-time high. I think at the time of this recording, it's like $108,000. Yeah, maybe you got it, and maybe a little late, but let me tell you something, dude. There's a ton of other crypto out there, and there's no better place to find out what's the next big crypto than our good friend James McMahon and Copy My Crypto. Let me tell you about Copy My Crypto. Guys, does it piss you off to watch crypto fly up in price for over a decade and you've still done nothing about it? It makes sense. Crypto is complicated and really boring. Well, here's the good news. You don't need to know a thing about crypto to make money like so many have. The CopyMyCrypto.com membership site shows you the exact cryptos that YouTuber James McMahon personally owns, which means you just copy him. It's like having a big brother that knows exactly what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing you don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest. You just simply copy along. So let me tell you about James. He runs the Crypto with James YouTube channel, which has so many more subscribers, and this says 54,000. It's way past that. Okay, he's got a ton of subscribers. In the summer of 2020, he told his viewers to buy 26 cryptos. Had you put $100 in each one, it went on to be worth over 123,000. Of the 26 cryptos, his top pick of the year, the one he singled out, Phantom, went up 692 times. That happens, man. That one call alone has retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify yourself. So if you'd like to join the over 2,800 members who copy James, then pause what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/tinfoil. That's copymycrypto.com/TFH. Okay. You'll not only find proof of everything I've said, but our viewers get full access for just $1. Yes, you missed out on crypto. Buy a little bit here and there, buy a little bit here and there. But there's over 2 million other cryptos. Do you really think you missed out on all of them? Nope. Guys, don't waste time. Go to the site and read it. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/TFH. It's ended money worries for so many. It just may do the same for you. Hey guys, listen, what's the hardest things about modern day families right now? Working too much, eating like crap. And that's why you got to get the perfect meal kit, the #1 rated meal kit in the entire universe in multiple dimensions. Let me tell you about our good friends at Home Chef.
If you're trying to save money, maybe you've limited your dining out. You're not eating out as much. But with the price of food lately, it seems like there's not much of a difference between eating out and staying in. And to make matters worse, there's also so many unhealthy options out there that you have to kind of sort through. Home Chef can help you save money and eat healthier with their fresh, delicious meals that are delivered straight to your door.
Home Chef delivers fresh ingredients and chef-designed recipes conveniently to your doorstep to simplify your cooking experience. Users of the leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. Okay, whether you prefer meal kits with pre-portioned ingredients, quick 30-minute recipes, oven-ready options, microwave meals, or dedicated family meals, Home Chef has everything you and your family need for a hassle-free, delicious dinner. Home Chef has over 30 options a week and several varieties of dietary needs.
For a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 50% off and free shipping for your first box, plus free dessert for life. Go to homechef.com/tinfoil. That's homechef.com/tinfoil for 50
50% off your first box and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/tinfoil. Must be an active subscriber to receive the free dessert.
All right, so we went on a tangent there.
Yeah.
Let's start where you want to go.
Yeah. So I have this this web here, and it seems a little crazy.
Can you describe it for those who are listening?
Yeah. So essentially, we have a web here that has a central point in it. I call it the hive mind, like central computer, or like the queen bee of the system. And this is going to be, I don't think it's going to be like a specific like physical location. I think it's going to be like a set of systems that are run on like all the data centers in the world, on the cloud, even through like satellite interconnectivity. But this is going to be where all of the information about us, everything we post on social media, like the social credit system, surveillance stuff, is all going to run through this catch-all system, which is starting to look like it's just going to be Palantir. And you have basically a bunch of different things that feed into it.
The Matrix.
I always like to start on the left over here with the nuclear AI power plants. So I've been talking about this for months and months and months about how big tech is like slowly buying up a bunch of nuclear facilities that I started to notice. Last year, one of my buddies was just made an offhanded comment and was like, "Hey, did you know Amazon is buying a nuclear facility here?" And he lives near Oak Ridge, which is where, you know, all the Manhattan and everything like that happened.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I started looking up, and Bill Gates has bought 3 Mile Island. So he owns that now. Like, that's working for Microsoft to power their data centers. Google has bought it. They're in a basically a partnership with Kairos Power, Amazon, Meta. They're all, and that's why you saw Trump just this week sign, or basically say that he was going to open up the nuclear industry and revitalize that. I'm sure you guys might have seen that come through, but it's all just going to be used to like power the data centers. And
that's insane.
You went to 3 Mile Island, right, Sam? Or you were nearby it?
I mean, I live in upstate New York.
No, but for that one show, remember that one show you did on CBS?
CW?
Yeah, CW. It was about.
We went to Montauk. I don't know how close that is to 3 Mile Island. I guess when you're a Mexican from California, everything over there is close.
Oh yeah, New York's New York.
And so with all this, I mean, obviously you guys know they're like tied to BlackRock, Berkshire Hathaway, the CIA, NSF, DARPA, like Bill Gates' grandpa. And then so those are basically
all those guys are LARPs. They're all live action role players.
Oh yeah.
Positioned because they're psychopaths. None of them are like these super. I mean, they're smart. That's why they're there. But they all have been handed the keys to the kingdom and just told, don't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like people always like to say the whole, Apple started in a garage, Google started in a garage. No, they started at DARPA, and they found people that were willing to play along and play the role and say, hey, I made this in my basement or whatever.
For a long time, everyone wanted to believe that Larry Fink came from shoe cobblers in California in the Valley. And you're like, there's no way that guy got access to the highest levels and just was some common peasant. It just never happened.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, he's from a very powerful sect of the
Yeah. And it is honestly kind of insane to watch, because like this is just America. And I've also done some research on like the amount of data centers that we have. Like there's over 600 data centers just in the state of Virginia alone. Yeah, and I was also doing some research as to how many H-1B visas we were getting comparative to how many data centers were going up throughout the country, and there's a huge correlation there.
Holy shit!
I might be able to get to that, but
we'll shut up and let you do.
No, you're good, man. You're good. The second part is the global cloud. So like Oracle, Amazon Web Services, which all of Netflix exists on Amazon Web Services, just to give you an idea of like how big that is. They own pretty much everything. They're talking about worldwide cloud computing service spending to grow by close to 20% in 2025. That was back in February. You have the Google Cloud and the keynote talking about like AI implementation into all of their cloud data. You have Microsoft's Azure. And that's basically what's going to make up like that system that hosts all of our information, our data, and things like that. So it lives somewhere digitally, can always be accessed, controlled anywhere in the world. The next part is the like global satellite connections. So the eyes and ears, and I've sort of propositioned this to people before, and they tell me that the satellites are fake, but then I don't know how you get a Starlink signal out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm inclined to believe that there is something providing some sort of EMF wireless communication signal.
Let's meet in the middle and say they're on balloons.
I'm good with that. I'm good. I know there's something in the sky beaming something down at us.
Isn't there like a Google satellite program called Loons?
That's a great. I haven't looked, but I can look at it. I can look into it later.
Okay.
I know they acquired one called Skybox, I guess, last year in July. And AWS, Google, and Microsoft are actually like all partnering together with they're calling it a space cloud. So basically all of the satellites will be able to beam information and host information between each other. And I kind of see that as an issue because even if somebody were to, and I don't condone this or anything, but say we wanted to destroy the data centers and get rid of this technocratic state, well, now it's up in the sky, and you need some sort of way to access it and get up there.
Yeah, it's called Project Loon.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like
that.
balloon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like they kind of just do it so you know what they're doing, so they can be like, "Yeah, you knew what we were doing." It was called Loons.
Oh yeah, one of those.
Wait, but that program is balloons, Sam. Like they acknowledge that program is balloons.
Right. But it's a satellite program.
No, it's not. It's a balloon program.
It's Google
Project Loon, a project by Google, is aimed to provide rural internet access through a network of high altitude balloons,
which is satellites.
Right, but you're saying like they're sticking in there to hide it, but they're calling them balloons. Like,
okay,
you get what I'm saying?
Yep. There we go. So yeah, tomato.
Yeah.
Thank you, Seven Seas. You're the new co-host, Johnny. You're out.
I've been seeing Elon make a lot of posts about like this country now has Starlink access, or this country now has internet, and they're sort of spinning it in a this is good for you, good for humanity, good for these people. I see it as he's taking away places for us to hide. Imagine like right now, you can obviously like discard your phone or discard whatever device you're using, physically separate yourself from it. But eventually, as we start to get into like the bio-digital convergence and human augmentation and things like that, where you won't be able to remove these devices, now you have nowhere you can go unless you go like a mile in a cave somewhere. And that's the only way you'll be able to get off grid.
Oh, you're saying like, okay, so you're saying like if everybody's Starlink is tuned in, you really can't leave the grid unless you literally get away from the Starlinks?
Or
well, if your Starlinks is above your country, they have the ability to data collect.
Yeah, they not only collecting data, but like I'm thinking, eventually when people, when people start getting like the brain chip or something.
Oh yeah, well, and think about like how much power Elon Musk has in Ukraine.
Yeah,
I mean, their entire war effort is based on Starlink. If he decided to pull the switch on Starlink in Ukraine, the war's over tomorrow. There's nothing they can do to defend themselves at that point. So that's ultimate power to have that. It's scary.
Yeah, I believe I was reading something earlier this week that said that even if Ukraine wanted him to shut it down, that he wouldn't do it. I believe I read a report on that or something.
Well, I mean, I think he would say that so everyone's like, oh, okay, we're good. I mean, even if I was like running the Ukraine, right? Let's say I was running it, I would still be laying down cables.
Yeah.
We had it for a while in the woods, but I returned it because just I didn't think the service was that great.
But you got service though, right?
Yes, it was early though. It was very early. So it was at that time where it was intermittent. It would have gaps in service, when the satellites were passing over and there were gaps in the mesh.
I used it. I used it when we went to like a little little thing. I didn't think it was gonna work. Yeah, like you said, it's not great, but just for me to even like log into the internet in the middle of the woods, I was like, this is crazy. Because like you said, it's gonna get an upgrade. But
And
just to
did you use the
understand,
thing where it shows you exactly where the satellites are?
yeah, you literally have to point it. So you have to point it at some certain spot, and it'll direct it. But like Johnny said, it's not the best. It's not the 5G, but if you, for emergencies,
Someday, I think when they are really blanketing the entire atmosphere and satellites, I mean, that's dystopian as someday, yeah, it'll be perfect. It'll be the way to go. But.
Absolutely. I think their like intermediate fix for that right now is partnering with like the cell companies. Starlink's partnered with like T-Mobile, and they sort of beam signals back and forth to each other. And now I guess you can sign up for that for free to try it. He's offering that for free, and I see that as like a, hey, come give me all your data, your network traffic, and zero cost to you. I figure we learned that lesson with social media.
Our convenience is going to be our slavery.
Yep, absolutely. So I'll kind of speed it up on this in-game model here, but the technological military, or the arm, like, did you guys see that video of the Denver police Colorado robot dog a couple of weeks ago?
Unbelievable.
Yes, yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Or again, like you have companies like Asus, which is just like a laptop like a computer company saying we're working on humanoid robots. China's working on them. Elon's working on them. There's so many companies. You have Howard Lutnick talking about how they're going to be able to come in and do all of the labor of the factories. There's videos of them taking like the Boston Dynamics dog, throwing a machine gun on it, and then having it do target practice and hitting all the targets. And that's right in line with like Palantir, and as you were saying, Johnny, Anduril and Palmer Luckey and all them guys. And so like with these four right here, it's basically we're always on, you're always in, we're always watching, and we're always basically like at the ready to do whatever we got to do. This is the one that I kind of have like the loosest amount of information on, and it's the Global Large Hadron Collider Computing Grid.
Damn.
So I was able to get into CERN's website a while back last year and actually see like some of the meeting minutes for some of these. And I should have screenshot them because now it's locked behind a CERN login and you can access those. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get anything from it, but they're also partnering with like Google Cloud for the Atlas experiment. And what the Large Hadron Collider basically does is it's using the energy from the collider to push information. And I believe as of last year, they were able to do like 280 terabytes per second or something like that, something insane. And I could very well see it being like some sort of way to transmit the data between systems and data centers and things like that for massive stuff like crypto exchange, the global digital ledger, anything that would require huge amounts of resources to be sort of transmitted between 2 points. And then the last like main block is digital currencies. So the blood of the whole thing, the thing that's going to like keep the system going, keep us all ingrained. And essentially, I think they're going to use carbon taxes as sort of a precursor to establish energy credits. The original technocracy movement, they called them ERGs or ERGs. And they were essentially able to measure how much you cost the system based on how much energy you consumed. And that was your essentially social credit in that system. And, Elon's grandpa was a part of that, the original Technocracy Inc. Company. You have digital ID, Larry Fink talking about the tokenization of everything, and then the CBDC crypto stuff that's coming in. And then all of that is sort of being run by like quantum computers, like Microsoft's Majorana 1, Google Willow, the D Wave. Artificial intelligence is going to be like our interface, where we like interact with this system. They're even talking about like AGI, which is the fake like replacement of human consciousness. And really, it's just a network of smaller AI that can all talk to each other.
Just so crazy.
Yeah. And
Where
then,
do elites see themselves in this? Like at some point, this becomes bigger than the elites and takes its own, just starts calling its own shots.
Yeah. I mean, I think we are kind of getting positioned for an AI controlled government. I think eventually they want to have an AI god that they are able to program, use in any way that they see fit, and the rest of us just don't have any purview into it. We don't have any access, any power, any way to change it. Donald Trump and his big beautiful bill that he's doing right now is already going to prohibit states from regulating any AI that happens in the country for the next 10 years.
What does that mean exactly? What can't we do?
What can't XG do on
like
microdosing?
Yeah, like I can do any AI bullshit.
Yeah, so essentially all the AI laws for the country will be passed through federal, and states will not be allowed to challenge those laws or like make any law that sort of circumvents that or anything like that.
So like those you can't get a celebrity to do porno on AI. That's going to be
No,
illegal
that's
federally?
not what that's about.
No,
retard. It's about what a retard. Oh, every time I think, okay, let him ask, and then you just really punish me for that. What he's talking about is you can't set a law that will stop the development of this system being enacted. That's what that means.
Yeah,
so
that scares me.
This fits into my whole thing that China is a paper dragon, and that they are treating China the same way they treated the USSR when we wanted to develop nuclear weapons, as this kind of giant shadow in the cave to get everybody so afraid. So we create the USSR, we prop them up. I remember as a kid seeing, we're in this Cold War and we're sending aid to Russia because they needed to stabilize them so they could be the enemy. Mm-hmm. We do that with ISIS. We do that with everybody. So with China, you have to prop them up because they're the paper dragon of AI. Oh, dude. If we don't have unregulated AI development, we're going to fall behind in AI. And if you fall behind even a millisecond, they dominate you. So that's all fear. That's why this bill is going to pass. Well, they own everybody, so no one's going to vote against it. But that is the purpose of propping up China. Their population isn't what we think it is, and their economy isn't what we think it is. We just take it as, face value, and we get told it because we're idiots.
Yeah.
So the New Jersey drones were definitely us.
They had FAA compliant lights on them.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. When you see the lights blinking green and red, it's clearly something that is regulated in some way that going up there.
Yeah, I saw that the first day, and I was like, it's got FAA lights on it, and people were like, it's aliens.
So
like, no, dude, it's the
I heard about that
the
story way before everyone else did because, I own a piece of a comedy club in New Jersey, and the guy who runs is my good friend Michael. He's been on the show before, and Michael would be like, "What the is that?" And he would see it in the sky way before the national news started talking about it. Now he's talking about seeing basically cryptid type shit all over the place.
In the sky?
And all over the place.
Just like in the woods and shit.
Like Mothman. Like Mothman?
Like he said, what is that? What is that? What the is that? And he would see it right there.
Damn, dude.
So who knows what they're opening and letting in? Or who knows what they're projecting?
It's actually funny you say that because I was on a podcast yesterday where I was talking about in 1990 we were apparently trying to figure out a way to either deep fake a video of Saddam Hussein in like a compromising situation or find a way to project Allah into the sky over Iraq when they invaded Kuwait. And that was being kicked around in the intelligence communities. Apparently, there's a Washington Post article that I can pull up. It's like the old HTML1 version. I guess I forgot to update it. But it talks about, what if we could project Allah in the sky and end conflict in Iraq? And that was 35 years ago.
Well, they use voice to skull, which is mysticism. They use voice to skull to make people go crazy over there.
So inhumane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ugh.
It's just crazy to see because I mean, you start talking to people about politics and they don't even know like what technocracy is. They've never heard of Palantir, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna get them in the next election." And I'm like, "Holy shit, dude, we're
yeah."
It's like people talking about World War II that don't know about Martin Bormann. You're like, how can you discuss World War II and not know who Martin Bormann is? And 99% of the country, 99.9% of the country, has no clue who that guy is and his role in the basically how the Nazis operated. And so you have people having incomplete conversations.
Yeah,
it's nuts to me.
It's crazy too because as I like share different things, I always try to source everything as best I can. And you can paint the picture as plain as day. Like, I mean, even just like posting a picture of like Donald Trump and Larry Fink cutting up and laughing together, and people will be like, he's playing him. It's a long con.
5D.
Like, dude. Yeah, it's actually funny because the whole like QAnon, wait and see, like that whole thing. I've been digging into that a lot lately, and a lot of it's just coming from like Michael Flynn and his group of people, but they've been getting pissed off at me lately because I just keep posting shit about it, and it's
I think that was their attempt to see if AI could manipulate people.
Yeah,
I mean, if you study the way it writes in a very AI type of way.
Oh, yeah.
And then it does a little bit of like a puzzle for you. So you're like, and you got all these people going, oh my God, look at this, look at this, look at this. Yeah. This is this. And it's just like anything but actually taking some kind of action. Now, are people who believe that also the role of some religion is to pacify people. I get told that all the time. Don't worry, this is taken care of. I go, okay. But I've always been told, faith without works is death. Yeah. That's what I've been told for the longest time. So if you don't do something, then you're in deep trouble. If you know one thing about me, folks, and that is my balls love to be cuddled, okay? And there's no better ball cuddler out there than make my package look the best it can be, and that's our good friends at MeUndies. Let me tell you about MeUndies and their amazing underwear. Listen, let's talk about the real MVP of your wardrobe. The one thing that you should never let down, your underwear. So if you're anything like me, you know what I'm talking about. It's time to upgrade. And I did this with the Ultra Model Ball Caddy Boxer Briefs from MeUndies. Ball Caddy is really the perfect way to describe how they feel. Dude, your nuts feel loved. Constantly caressing you. That's what I love about it, dude. I'm like, oh, man, MeUndies loves me nuts.
Love my package.
These game-changing briefs are designed for next-level support. No squishing, no sticky, just pure cloud-like comfort. There isn't a better description of how much love your package gets in this underwear. You feel like a king, hung like a horse. That's how it goes. MeUndies has a cut for every guy's butt with over 10 different styles ranging from boxer briefs to jock straps to our special pouch underwear called Ball Caddy that keeps your bat wings from ever winging again, okay? Ever. I hate that stuff, okay? I hate it, Johnny. You're always complaining about your balls sticking.
What does that mean, bat winging?
When your balls stick to your leg? That's the worst, Johnny. As a real man, you know what I'm talking about. Right?
Yeah,
right?
because they've been hanging, they slap on.
They slap on, they stick, and it's just uncalled for. MeUndies signature softer than soft ultra modal fabric is breathable, stretchy, and oh so comfortable.
Really
It's super so comfy. Okay,
So soft.
making it ideal for all day wear. They use sustainable source materials that work with partners that care for their workers. Not happy with your first pair of undies? It's on MeUndies. So here's what we need to do. Slide into game-changing comfort with MeUndies. Support the show by going to MeUndies.com/tinfoil and use our code tinfoil to get 20% off your first order plus free shipping. That's MeUndies.com/tinfoil, code tinfoil for 20% off plus free shipping. MeUndies, comfort from the outside in, and we thank them for sponsoring this show.
Yeah, and it's I mean that's the way it always seems to go, is like they're just trying to encourage inaction, whether that's moving from one psyop to the next one, or whatever that looks like. But it's just sit there. We've got everything taken care of. Someone's fighting for you, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because they got people basically right at the right time where I think like mistrust in government was high. So they were able to capture all those people who were just taking a foot out, and they're saying, hey, government's bad. And then just sweeping them right back into the two-party narrative, the false dichotomies, and everything right back where we were, 8 years ago.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
100 years ago.
Yep. I mean, that's the total banker thing. Get them to believe in two parties and have those two parties go to war. These people on this side, these people on the other side, and have them just go to war. And most of the participants, most of the soldiers in this two-party war, that everything wrong with the country has been brought to you by two parties. And it really comes down to what is your social beliefs, right? Like if you love trans, teaching kids how to read, you go to the left, right? If you want gays to burn in hell, you go to the right.
Not so much these days anymore. Seems like
that was just me trying to make a quick example, but I have way more faith in the right getting rid of their leaders than I do the left, because the left's whole thing is conformity. Yeah. You must conform. That's their whole. It's rich kid conformity. The right is more like leave me the. But still, you have those people who are like, didn't learn anything from the Iraq War.
Yeah,
they take everything at face value. It's because their side's telling it to. It's like it's a lie if it's MSNBC. It's true if it's Fox News.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, maybe the both sides lie to you. Like, I love my mother. She thinks she's informed because she watches both news. She's like, I watch both. I'm like, you're getting lied from both sides, Mom.
Yeah, funny.
Catching it twice as bad.
Yeah.
And it's I've been doing some research into like NGOs and PR guys. A couple names that have come up for me are like David Fenton, Michael Shellenberger, Trevor Fitzgibbon. And essentially what these guys do is they'll go to Latin America when they're really young for like charitable causes, when really I think they're going down there under the guise to like be trained by intelligence agencies and shit. And then they come back here and they'll start PR companies and nonprofits that'll be like, save the trans teachers or something. And then all of a sudden people donate to that, and it manufactures consensus essentially, to where it's like, hey, people are talking about this. People are concerned about this. Now Congress should do something about this. And you see that all the time. I think, so some of the biggest ones are like the health freedom movement, where, obviously nobody wants a vaccine, but to sell them then like other pharmaceutical products from the same big pharma companies and say, instead of taking the vaccines, buy these pharmaceuticals.
Ivermectin, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, shit like that.
It's a miracle drug.
Yeah. Made by Merck.
Well, it's like interesting to me because like they killed that Maha so quickly when suddenly RFK Jr., the health guru, is like, we gotta stop anti-Semitism. You're like, what does that have to do with health?
Yeah.
You just like destroyed that right there. It's interesting, dude. I think it's harder for them to pull psyops than it was before. I just think and maybe they're getting more savvy with it. But it does seem like it falls instantly.
Yeah.
Do you think there's more division now among the elites than there has been historically too? Because I sense that sometimes that maybe now there's more division.
You don't think it's pro wrestling?
Well, no, I don't. I mean behind the scene. I don't mean like that we're aware of, but it just seems like there may be conflicting narratives out there, and that because.
I mean, no, because even in pro wrestling, behind the scenes, they didn't like each other. So I get kind of what Johnny.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
yeah.
But maybe more than ever now. I because it feels like we're just. I mean, what do you say, Sam? Psyops upon psyops. It really does feel like they're like psyops and then counter psyops going that are kind of like with different ends in mind. Do you know what I mean? It's a tangle, really. The reality right now is just a mess.
I think they probably all secretly like want the same thing. I think they
for themselves though, or the same like together they're trying to reach the same end, or they're trying to get it for themselves.
Yeah, like I think they all share the same end goal and just have differing opinions on how that is run or who's in charge of it.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, and also though, Johnny, to kind of back up your point is, if a gang takes over a neighborhood, at some point, you could see a faction of that gang want to run their own shit. And isn't that the study? Isn't that the whole point of it's kind of like, the story of Gotti, right? It's like he wanted to be the head boss. He's part of a crime family, but there was a guy above him and he wasn't patient enough, so he took it down. If you have a tank full of psychopaths, it's basically piranhas, and they're eventually going to eat something. And sometimes they probably eat themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like Fauci is a good example, where they used him to push like the COVID vaccines, Operation Warp Speed, the lockdowns, the NIH stuff, and then now they throw him out and they're like, hey, he's a bad guy, he was a liar, when really he was just working with the administration the entire time. Like Trump could have put him out at any point if he wanted to. But they're willing to like throw them to the wolves if it means progressing the agenda a little bit. I think the biggest person probably, as far as like the people that we know, Peter Thiel is obviously like probably the main front guy for a lot of these things, him and Elon. Peter Thiel's weird because he's always claiming that he's like this libertarian, but then wants everyone else to live in like a digital police state Matrix Terminator world. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but obviously like some differences in like the Soros approach. I think they're, what is it, communitarians or something like that, where like their end goals are the same. It's just one wants to do it with like social stuff, and the other one wants to just have like a technical dystopia, like a technological dystopia, but there is like a huge overlap in the ways they want to get there, like universal basic income or vaccines, things like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the vax thing is the most important thing. I mean, we just had a podcast drop about metals and radio waves and, why not everybody has cavities. But if you make everybody take a vaccine now, they got metals inside them.
Yeah.
Do you remember that root canal documentary that came out?
Yeah.
They're saying, I don't know if obviously the dentists say it's not credible, but it's off of Netflix. You can't seem to find it on YouTube. And I'm like, why are they banning this so hard if it's supposed to not be credible? You know what I'm
About
talking
giving you heart attacks and cancer.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, they called
Root cause, I think it was called, right? Root
Yeah,
cause.
it made it. I mean, when it came out, it was hitting. It was making waves. It just disappeared. It's one of those ones like that flat Earth thing. I was like, why you hiding this so much? Why can't we just watch it? Let us think. Let us make the decision.
But let me ask you something. What do you think? Who controls who? Does the U.S. government control these tech companies? Like, it's my belief that Amazon is an arm of the U.S. government, or is the government an arm of Amazon? Because DARPA created Amazon. Jeff Bezos' grandpa was one of the founding scientists of DARPA. When the COVID came, they shut down everything but Amazon Fresh. You still go to Amazon to buy food, which is a very communist thing to do. Yeah. What is your thoughts on that?
So I think ultimately at the top is the bankers telling the military industrial complex what to do, and then the military industrial complex telling the tech companies what to do, and the government sort of being like that intermediary between the two, so that you don't just have like, you know,
chain
the
of
CIA,
command.
yeah, like telling Google what to do in like headlines or whatever that looks like. But we all know they're calling the shots from behind the scenes. But that would be my opinion. But I think that's where you start to get into like the Kabbalah and like Kabbalistic belief system, and the fact that it's not just, like this is thousands and thousands of people that are all sort of like pushing this goal and this agenda. Some of them are absolutely not. Some of them are the most I've ever seen in my life, but it's a bunch of people that are just basically willing to sell their future generations and all of us up for the next buck or a little bit of fame. That's what it seems like.
I've seen that on a smaller scale. I was talking to a pretty successful comedian, and I was talking to him about all the stuff going on with banking, all the stuff going on with these tech surveillance and all this stuff. And he goes to me, I go, dude, we're, like, your kids are screwed. He goes, well, are we okay right now? I go, yeah. He goes, well, what can you do? I was blown away by him saying that.
Yeah. Well,
I was blown away.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me because like I've gotten into it with Alex Jones a couple times on Twitter, and I'm like, dude, you do realize like your kids are gonna live in this system, right? Like, is this what you're wanting? Is that like, you're always talking about how Trump's so great and Elon's so great, and they're setting up this technocracy. Like, is this the future that you want your kids to have a brain chip to exist? It doesn't make sense to me.
It's one of the most interesting things said today is this whole thing about using Israel as a smokescreen.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you look at Alex Jones and Pierce Morgan, and they're just basically now turned on Israel. Do you think that's part of a play?
I kind of do. I think I see that as, can we win back some of the noticing right and rehash some of our lost reputation, maybe earn some goodwill back with the people, so that whenever the next thing comes, they'll be able to just feed them the next narrative. I think Alex Jones saw a huge pushback. I know I've done it. I've seen tons, like thousands and thousands of comments that are just like, you used to warn against these things, and now you praise them, and yada yada yada. So who knows? I do think that it is, though, sort of like oh shit, we need to pivot because we're starting to lose numbers or lose subscribers or money or whatever that looks like.
I mean, we've seen that with the Daily Wire. I mean, they've just caved. But it's like the powers that be don't care. They're paying you to push a narrative, and if it costs you your brand, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because you took all the money. That's the game.
Yeah.
Let's get into this thing you want to talk about. I think it's very interesting. False dichotomy of co-intel narratives.
Yeah. Yeah, let me pull that up real quick. See if I can find it. Sorry, I've got so many webs, man. I'd hate for someone to.
What do you use to create those? Those are really neat.
It's called Obsidian. It's free, and
For
if you
now.
wanna- yeah, for now. If you ever want to sync it between devices, so like anything I do on my computer, like being on another computer, that's like $5 a month if you want to be able to sync
like that.
those.
It's a good
Thanks,
way.
man.
It's a good way to illustrate, interconnectedness and systems.
Yeah, well, when I started doing the digging and stuff, there's so much shit, and I don't know if you guys have ever felt this way, but when you're going through like a huge conspiracy or like reading about something super in depth, and you're just reading it in like an article, you're like, I can't keep all of this, where it needs to be and who's interacting with what in my head the entire time. So I started doing this as like an organization thing, and then I just started posting them, and people were like, "Holy shit, this is great!" Like,
I
being
love
able to
that,
see all the
dude.
connections and
Yeah,
stuff.
me too.
Thank you. I'll okay, I do have that web here. So this kind of goes into like the PR guys that I was talking about, like Trevor Fitzgibbon and Michael Shellenberger and stuff. And essentially you have this, so there's this guy named Michael Shellenberger who did a lot of work with like Democrat stuff, left-leaning things. He was part of like the Venezuela stuff when Hugo Chavez was going on. He's wrapped up with people like Medea Benjamin, who is part of like Code Pink, and she was part of like the Black Lives Matter movement.
Hold on. Do you think Code Pink is co-op?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Code Pink is Medea Benjamin and Jody Evans. They were the ones that co-opted Occupy Wall Street.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And that kind of explains why she's always on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
most people that cause that much problems wouldn't even be allowed in the door.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's tied up with like the Benjamin Fund, and her dad was Alvin Benjamin, who owns like Benjamin Companies, and that's like a whole
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. And that's just like one of the things. He's part of this global exchange that she was a part of, and they did PR for Ben and Jerry's and so many other companies down here. Open Society Foundation, George Soros. You have like the Jane Fonda Foundation, the Heinz Family Foundation. Yeah, all of these companies have either used them or donated to that global alliance or global exchange. Sorry.
Whoa.
John Merck Fund. General Service, Cloud Mountain Foundation, which sounds like it's related to Apollo or the Apollo missions or something.
Whoa.
And then the Rockefeller Foundation. And that's just one of these like NGOs that they're using. There's
Whoa. Look at that map.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I love
it. Can you zoom out so we can see how vast it is?
Holy shit.
Whoa! Whoa!
Aren't those great, dude? I just love this.
It looks like a star constellation. That's how crazy. It literally looks like a web.
Yeah, and this isn't even my messiest one either. I have a couple between like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk that are pretty crazy. That was actually like the first one when I started doing my live streams.
Oh shit, look at this one.
Whoa. Holy shit.
Yeah, we just started with a picture of Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, and I just started. So I keep all the companies in green, universities and schools that they maybe go together and maybe met each other or something in blue. VC capitals and NGOs are usually like light blue. And oh, hey, there's that Anduril Industries you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
I actually found out a couple of weeks ago that Palmer Luckey's sister is married to Matt Gates. Did you guys know that?
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Palmer Luckey?
Funny.
Who's Palmer Luckey?
He's the guy
again?
who founded Oculus, who now is at Anduril. He got forced out by Zuckerberg out of Oculus.
Yep.
When Meta acquired them, and he went on to. They did 60 Minutes actually just did a huge thing on Anduril, the defense company he founded. He said he had a few ideas for different kind of companies. One of them was to combat obesity, like do something great for humanity. And then the other one was to go into defense, and drop bombs.
Could go either way. Could go either way.
And he went with that.
He wants to bomb thin people.
It's so funny. It's like,
and then he gave the idea for the weight loss to Nordisk, and they made Ozempic.
Oh. Wow, that sucks.
But it's just kind of crazy because like once you start to look at everything, like you can obviously see like Peter Thiel and Elon, they got started early in the 90s with like X.com. It used to be a bank that Elon owned before it was ever Twitter. PayPal, obviously.
Wait, it was a bank first? X.com was a bank?
Yeah, in 1999, Elon was trying to do his own banking app, and they got basically acquired by PayPal. And then Elon was kind of pushed out.
Damn.
Yeah. I think basically when they were setting up to for eBay to purchase PayPal, and there's somebody that was involved with that was close to Peter Thiel. I was looking into that the other day. I just can't remember specifically, but like you have JD Vance. Peter Thiel gave JD Vance the largest congressional donation by a single person in the United States.
That guy's a made up thing. They probably had weird sexual shit.
Yeah.
And they gave him a new name. The gay version of whoever he was is called JD Vance. Just dick in advance. That's what that's comes from. I mean, people get mad, but he's literally the only one that is being set up to be the next president.
Yeah.
It's either him or Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that Peter Thiel gave it like a failed gubernatorial run, I think, in California, realized he wasn't the guy. So
yeah,
now
when you sweat all the time, nobody trusts you.
And he's got like so many lackeys under him, like Blake Masters, our new NIH director, Jay Bhattacharya. He was in Peter Thiel's dorm when they went to Stanford together. Vivek Ramaswamy and Peter Thiel have overlap. JD Vance and Vivek Ramaswamy went to Yale together, and they were so close that JD Vance's son is named Vivek after Vivek Ramaswamy, and then they both just so happened to run for president on the same ticket, which I thought was insane.
That is so crazy. And what are your thoughts on that? There's so many Indians from India starting to make their way into the highest levels of government.
I think it's concerning, especially because it seems like they are, if they don't completely subscribe to like the technocratic agenda, then it seems more often than not that they are still like along for the ride with the Soros agenda, or maybe even something that just benefits Israel. I still don't to this day understand why Israel and India have such a good relationship with each other. But India loves Israel.
It's so crazy. And Israel hates India. Like, have you ever seen Indians who try to go to Israel to like help out and they can't even go into clubs?
Yeah.
They don't get allowed in. It's like so crazy. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They treat Indians like the Indians treat the Pakistanis.
And Israel has India's population is humongous, unlike, I believe, China's.
Yeah. Yeah, India.
How small do you think China's is then?
I mean, there's been numbers put around 500 mil, which is still more in America. But when you're telling everybody you got 1.4 billion, that's a huge. You're basically 900 million people less.
Yeah.
You think they're counting the Mexicans over there?
There's one Mexican in all China, and he's employed at a Mexican restaurant where he just walks around and yells the Speedy Gonzalez impressions.
Can you imagine? It'd be hard to imagine a Mexican with a Chinese accent. That would be funny, wouldn't it?
That would be hilarious. But the only chance China has to have a population boom is to import Mexicans.
Yeah, because they're boning, dude. We had that talk about San Diego the other day, and I did some research on that. And there were only, did you know that when California became a state, there were only like a couple thousand Mexicans here, like no Mexicans at all in California, the whole state. And they've just outbred everybody else in California.
Well, they've also all snuck in because there's more opportunity.
But a big part of it, like they've done if you believe the research, is a big part of it is that they breed at a much higher rate. What you're saying, than
because everyone wants to bang big booty Latinas. That's why they're like, they get it.
Fertile, and they're fertile.
Well, like they can be both religious and completely filthy at the same time. Where like a lot of women can't do that. They're either a Jesus freak or they're just like a total like town bike. You know what I'm saying? Everyone rides it. But it's like Latinas are like able to like walk that fine line. What I do find very interesting here is that we import so many people, which I don't have a problem with because my family came here from Armenia and from Italy. So I don't have a problem with that. The problem is they're now being convinced to keep their own culture. They're not assimilating in. And the whole reason they're coming in to America is for stability. But by maintaining your culture of what you ran from, you begin to create mini, like, countries almost. You create these, like, mini communities that follow their own rules. And they don't assimilate in to the structure that is America. And that, to me, is where the danger is. Because you're importing chaos. I don't mind if you come here.
Yeah. That's my big thing too, is I don't think government should be influencing travel either way, whether in or out. Like, you shouldn't be able to tell me where I can and can't go, you know? And the problem that we have is like they focus so much on importing so many people, whether that's to, you know, fill H-1Bs, or they're trying to meet like a certain quota for something, or they're going to get grant money for doing it. And then they import them over here, and then they're like, well, we got our payout now, good luck. And then we're all sort of meant to, you know, interoperate with these people that are first generation here, that, you know, have their own cultures and everything. It's not like they got over, you know, they got imported by some government entity and they were just like, all right, you're here in America, good luck.
And because they're paid so much less, whether it's H-1B visa guys who, there's a job that normally would pay American $150,000, they're getting paid $70,000. And that's a good living, right? But it's not $150,000. So they actually have to clump together to survive, which again creates this mini country where they just start to treat it like it's where they ran from. Instead of, again, the reason I don't speak Armenian is because my Armenian great-grandparents taught my grandparents English. They did learn Armenian, but it was mostly English. And then my grandparents taught my mother a little Armenian, mostly English. And then I learned no Armenian because they're all from a generation of assimilation. You're here now, you're part of the culture. Now, because of this George Soros bullshit, it's all about maintaining your culture. And then you weaponize it as, this is my culture, I got to keep it to pass it on. You're like, no, dude, you were there. Your family left. I remember, like I told this story before, but it's like I was doing stand-up with Brett Ernst in San Diego, and these two sisters came. One was absolutely gorgeous, the other was not.
That's usually how Mexican sisters go.
And they were yelling and screaming at us that they were Mexicans, even though they've never lived in Mexico. And that they root for Mexico in sports. They do all this shit. They want it to be Mexico. And you're like, you know, your family left that for a reason. And I love Mexico. I've been to Mexico. It's great. But it's not America. And
you know what's funny? And you know what's funny and sad? If they went to Mexico, Mexico wouldn't consider them Mexicans. The Mexicans there would look at them and be like, you're not Mexican. You're a Chicana, and that's like an in-between. You're not. That's the worst part. They're neither one nor the other, and that's what makes them sad.
Well, they would be accepted here if they would stop like rooting for a country they never lived in.
Seriously.
Like, I love Italy. Like, when Italy's in a sporting event, I love Italy. But if America's playing Italy, I want to curb stomp them.
It's infuriating. Dude, there was this guy Rossi, a forward that chose to go play. He could have played for the American national team or the Italian national team, and he chose to play for the Italian national team. Grew up in New Jersey, just a normal, just a Jersey kid.
Yeah.
It's like that chick who's like the number one luge racer or a bobsled racer. She's never been to China because her mom is Chinese. She went and played for China. And it's like, I find that absolutely disgusting. You're going to play for a country that emphasized girls, little girls.
So dumb.
Like, get the fuck out of here. And I don't hate the Chinese. I've been to China. They're wonderful. I have no ill will towards them. But it's like, if you're born in America, raised in America, trained to be a luge person, which sounds to me like you come from a certain amount of wealth. No inner city kids are bobsledding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
You go play for China? Get the fuck out of here. I'd be disgusted.
And she was like over here and like using American trainers and things like that.
Yeah.
That's
it's like
weird.
so embarrassing. I feel like we knocked you off this presentation because we just
you're
talked
good.
too much.
You're good.
Okay.
Man. You're good. I didn't have like a dream or like, anything planned.
Let's get into, this is going to be a dangerous topic. Let's get into your mainstream alternative media. Let's get into that.
Perfect. Let's see here. So some of this might have a little bit of overlap with like the Trevor Fitzgibbon web, Michael Shellenberger.
That's fine. We love your webs. We'll overlap them.
All right. So
have you ever put all the webs together and it's just white?
So that's actually something I'm working on because I have like I have a web that's dedicated to just Jeffrey Epstein. And then sometimes when Epstein comes into another web, that I can now slowly start to import them to each other. And it'll just be like this whole drop down. I'm hoping to eventually map out everything. I don't think it's, it's kind of a big task for one guy, but I'm obsessed with figuring out who is doing what and running what, and mapping it out like this makes me feel better, I guess, at least. So there's this, the Rumble influencer pipeline. I'm sure you guys are gonna recognize some names on here, but there's
oh no,
no.
Here we go.
So a lot of people aren't aware that the Rumble pipeline, a lot of those companies are owned by this thing called Coulson Capital, which is this company that is owned by this guy named Foster Coulson, and basically Foster Coulson is partnered. He was partnered with this guy named David Lopez from Blackwater, Eric Prince's Blackwater.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of this like money is coming from and influence is coming from. And Coulson Capital owns a bunch of companies that sponsor influencers. There's a couple company names that I haven't mapped out completely yet, but Vigilant News Net, this is their website basically, and all the companies that roll up to them. The wellness companies, Alinko Labs, Holistic Goddess, Vigilant News Network, Positive, 1775 Coffee, and all of these.
Dr. Drew, they got him.
Yep, they got Dr. Positive is that dog food company, and they were the ones that made Laura Loomer eat dog food on her stream. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was like, I have this new sponsor. It's Positive. I'm going to try it. She eats it. And I'm like, if they can get you to do that on camera, what are they making you do off camera?
Wait, so she got a dog food sponsor, and as part of the ad read, she ate dog food to like prove how delicious this dog food is and healthy? Is that it?
I don't know if it was specifically part of the read, but she ate it
Or a
during the
humiliation ritual.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
By the way, if they sponsor us, Xavier, you're eating the dog food. You better come very high that day.
No, I'm not. I'm calling it no wet food. I'll do dry food, no wet food.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you.
There you go. But they have like Zelenko Labs, that thing that was selling like the Z-Stack supplements that was like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine.
X22 report, dude. You're living dangerous.
I see some names.
Stu Peters, damn, bro.
Yep.
So you think Stu Peters is controlled op?
I do. I think that he's there to just get everyone to solely blame the for everything. And he also just launched his own crypto, which I'm very adamantly against because of the role that I think it's playing in technocracy. And if everyone starts using crypto, then we're all using crypto, and then there is no physical cash anymore.
You mean the to blame for everything?
Some to blame for a lot of things.
I like that.
Yeah.
So so the X-22 is interesting because he pretty much got everything wrong when it came to Q for the most part. But people still tune into him all the time. Yeah. Whoa, you got Mel K on there?
Twice.
Oh man, she's never gonna talk to me again.
Oh boy. She's often saying everything's fake, right? That's her thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, I love her.
Yeah, because I believe.
Oh no, Jimmy Dore's there.
Jimmy Dore, come on,
dude.
He gets sponsored by the Wellness Company and 1775 Coffee.
Do you think? But if you're just,
let's just pause.
Yeah,
let's
if you're
just
just
pause
connecting
on
it based on sponsors, I have
no.
doubts.
So yeah, it's do they have an official contract, and do they show a pattern of behavior of obfuscating or the wait and see or playing or drumming up a narrative or something like that? And basically every single one of these people I've found multiple. I never take like, oh, there's this one instance where they were together this one time or something like that and had it. I always try to corroborate as much as I can. And
so you don't think it's possible that people can just be like, hey dude, I need sponsorship to pay my bills, and somebody comes to them is like, hey dude, this is blah blah blah, so let's take we had a what's the one drug everybody takes to get off drugs? The Kratom, right?
Kratom.
Mm-hmm. So we did Kratom, and then over a while I thought, because I had so many people tell me they were having a problem with Kratom, that I was like, okay, I'm not going to do Kratom as a guy who's sober.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible?
Not going to do the read, right?
That people someone goes, hey, 7075 wants to sponsor your podcast. Oh, like if you hadn't done this show, let's say we don't do this, we never did this episode, and 1775 Coffee came to us. I don't know anyone on the show would be like, oh yeah, dude, we love coffee. Why not?
Yeah.
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I didn't know shit about it.
Yeah, this isn't necessarily like all of these people are evil and they know exactly what they're doing. I think that a lot of these people are sought out based on their ability to control narratives or keep people engaged in a specific narrative, or just keep people docile and inactive or waiting until
are there things, because so a lot of times, and I'm not saying this applies to you at all, I'm saying like right now some guy named, what was the name of the guy from Bill and Ted's?
Ted Reeves?
No, but what is the character name? Ted Theodore something. I don't
His
even know.
His full name?
Yeah, what's the character's name?
Hold on, look it up.
So this guy is on Twitter.
Theodore Logan.
Yes.
Ted Logan.
So that's the guy's name, Theodore Logan. I don't know where I just see on my Twitter he's accusing me, Raven, and this other person being controlled opposition. I don't know what I can say to people that will understand that we're super indie here. Like, we don't have anybody that is telling us what we can and cannot do.
Yeah.
We have certain rules here. I really don't like teeing off on certain groups. Because I'm from a time where like you weren't racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we'll talk about anything. But if we get approached by a sponsor, I mean, we would like to be able to pay the bills. There's a lot of people who work on this show. Is that possible?
I do think that it is possible to have a sponsor and to make money in this and still remain altruistic and with positive intent. I do think that is possible. These companies specifically that I'm looking into and the people that are getting sponsored, it just seems to be this repeating pattern of controlling the political narratives.
Is there a narrative that you think listen, because I love Jimmy Dore. I've been with him privately behind backstage. I don't know if there's anything he doesn't talk about, and I don't want to make this all about that because I do think there's probably people on your list that are. But what is a narrative that you don't think Jimmy Dore talks about that he should talk about?
So for an example, I don't believe that the COVID virus exists. And I think that it is EMF radiation. And what they're selling is the existence of a virus and a treatment for it.
Do you expect him to know that though? I mean, that's
my whole thing. It's like what you're listen, I don't want this to be like us attacking you.
Of course not.
So this is my whole thing. It's like there people come along the way and they can't jump steps. It's very hard to jump steps. And Johnny, who sometimes plays devil advocate on this show, him and I get into discussions all the time about the existence of an actual, what we're told, virus. I'm on your side. I don't think viruses exist.
You don't think they're venom, though? Do you think they're venom now? Is that?
I think there's an argument that they put venom in the air. They put venom in the water. They put venom in our medication. Like, what was remdesivir? Is a lot of venom. So that's what I think happens. But Johnny doesn't think that. No. What I always say about Jimmy Dore, and I'm probably opening up a Pandora's box by saying this as well, Joe Rogan, is that if they go too deep off the edge, they're going to lose this crowd. So they have to slow roll it out. I hate doing this. As someone who's been called Francis Baconator by a big chin retard, and this, you go to the comments, and I'm not calling you retard because you and I have met in person, and I think you're wonderful. I'm not trying to include you with.
No, we're talking about an actual retard.
Yeah,
okay. I mean, I am, but I
no. I'm a big fan of yours. I don't want you to think this is me trying. What I'm saying is, someone who's been a victim of being included in shit that, there's this guy named Matt North who's no longer with us.
Yeah,
Matt North included me in some CIA plot because I was friends with Joe Rogan. And I go, okay, come on my show and tell me how I am part of the plot. I go, I'm not interested in the Rogan part because he's not here to defend himself. I want to hear how you think I'm part of the plot. And we would just go back and forth. And before you know, he's no longer with us. And I don't say that to be mean to him because I don't want to speak ill will of the dead. But it's like, again, connecting dots. And I'm not saying you're doing this. I've been the victim of that. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, I always say I drive a Mitsubishi. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's telling us what to do. I mean, you could go and what happens on our show, and I'm saying this to the people that believe that big chin retard. What happens to the show is I get a text the day of the show, and a booker tells me who's on the show. I send him suggestions, like I sent him you. I send him a bunch of other people that I find super interesting. So I want to talk to them. But he all the time books people I've never even heard of that I'm panicking if I say their name correct. And you can ask these two guys. I'm practicing their name so I don't completely destroy them. Their names, because I find that embarrassing. And it's done honestly because my brain is very weird and I have real problems with names. So I sit there and I go, okay, practicing. I don't know who's coming on the show, and I don't get the notes. I didn't get your notes until literally you showed up 5 minutes later. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying, dude. Is like Jimmy Dore, I'm kind of like protective of because I feel like I think he's trying to come along. I remember being on his show about 5-6 years ago talking about how the moon landing was fake, and he's like, the moon landing's fake. And now you were there when we did a joke about Kurt Metzger and nukes, and how both of us don't believe there's nukes. And I go, in 3 years, Kurt Metzger be yelling about how there's no nukes, and then 4 years later, a year later, Jimmy Dore would be doing shows on how there's no nukes. So I personally think that sometimes when people have a bigger audience, they have to slow roast shit out. Like you see Andrew Schultz do that a lot. So I just wanted to say that.
Can I also say though, Sam? Do you think? Because I think that what you're suggesting is even a little more cynical than reality. I think that's just where he is right now. I really believe that.
Right, I'm not saying he
very
knows
cynical.
something and he doesn't say it. I think he's on his journey. But you also got to go, if he comes out and says the crazy shit we say on this show, oh, there's snake venoms and the government is shooting radio waves into your cavities, he's going to lose so many of those people because they just haven't gone through all the steps along the way to getting to that point. You have to get through that. You have to accept that they already have voice to skull technology. Does 99.9% of the population know that? No, like the 4 people in these squares know that. So that's all. That's all. So I want you to go back. Mel K has some blind spots. I think Israel could be one of them because she is Jewish, and that's part of their programming when they come up. But I think she has good intentions. I've done many shows where I don't find her to be somebody who is dishonest. But I mean, again, I can't tell you. I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I'm here to tell you based on my interactions with people.
Yeah, and my inclusion of them on this web isn't like, oh, if I've listed this person, they're inherently evil or they know what they're doing or whatever that looks like. It's more so like when I'm putting these people on here, it's sort of like a proof of a transaction that's taking place between them and a company that I know is being run by CIA private military contractors. And seeing this like pattern of carrot and stick of, hey, we'll give you a sponsorship, even if they're like, just keep doing what you're doing. I think there's a reason that those military, industrial complex and intelligence agencies are
keeping it alive. They're keeping the podcast alive.
It's so interesting though, because we've dealt with so many advertisers over the years, and maybe we're just not big enough. I don't know, but we've never had anybody we've had people, the only thing we've had is people say, hey, we don't like that kind of shit, we're out, basically. But
we had somebody, Alex Jones, on, and Audible jumped off, and we're like, okay, well,
which is owned by Amazon, so what the expect?
And then we've had a sponsor, Blue Chew, go, could you not put us on the spiciest ones? Could you put us on the not spicy ones?
Yes.
But they've never gave us I don't want this to be me challenging you because I think you do great research.
And we don't sign contracts either, by the way. Not very rare, and it's with people that we know personally. I think we might have a contract with maybe the Gold guy, right? But we don't, like, all those advertisers that come through that we've had over the years, no contracts at all. It's just all, but
I understand what you're saying. I just had to get that out because I don't think you're doing this. I think you found connections that could indicate something. But I also think there's retards out there, not you, but retards that are saying that any successful person is somehow controlled up. And I could tell you why this show has done well. 1, the name. People know exactly what we talk about. 2, the early guests were Eddie Bravo, Duncan Trussell, and Doug Stanhope, who already had huge followings and brought people in. So I could go through the whole thing like that. But, that's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go back to your map.
Yeah. And again, like, just because someone's on here doesn't mean that they have a specific intent or anything. It's just I was able to find public information that confirmed a connection between the two people. And then just sort of looking through these, like, I'll be honest that, I don't have anything against Jimmy Dore. I'm not ever going to go to him for information because I feel like it is sort of a limited amount of information that I'm going to get. And I'm sort of far beyond that, I think, where I still see some things from him about like the 2-party narrative sometimes and things like that. But like Viva Frey, Laura Loomer.
Laura Loomer's so bad. Cat Turd's so bad.
Roseanne Barr.
You're getting all my favorite people.
Jack Posobiec. Clayton and Natalie Morris from Redacted, actually.
What? You think they're controlled?
They are getting paid by both of them. Now, I don't know why Eric Prince and Blackwater and Mike Flynn and this entire network would feel the need to incentivize these people with money, and that's kind of where the provable stuff.
Can
goes
I
out
ask
the
you
window.
one thing? And I'm not saying Tulsi Gabbard is a good person or not. But her whole argument is that she was put on that WEF list to corrupt her name down the line. Is that at all possible?
I am not sure. I would have to know like the legalities of the wellness company, like fraudulently using these people's likenesses to sell goods and services, and these people should definitely be suing them if they're not in agreement.
If they're not getting
Yeah.
You think Ted Nugent is controlled?
Ted Nugent has a discount with the wellness company. And again, it ties into like James O'Keefe, Glenn Greenwald, Shannon
Brett
Joy.
Weinstein.
Yeah, Brett Weinstein's on there. Alex Stein, Kyle Seraphim.
Alex Stein?
Oh.
He had a wellness company discount. I'm not sure if it's
Boy.
still currently active, but he was with them at one point.
Oh my God.
Okay. I don't.
And
it's funny because I
Yeah.
feel like I'm curious. I feel like we've gotten an offer from that through Advertised Cast. Yes, we have.
O'Keefe.
Yeah, we have. We have.
Oh no, dude! Did we take it?
Let me see. Wellness company.
Oh, we did.
You did.
You
They will most
Don't
likely.
you
Putting
write
us in
it
the
on
list.
there.
No, stop now.
They will most likely be promoting their emergency wellness kits. Shows must have a YouTube simulcast element. These are the only directives we would have gotten from them. Client requires that a comment be pinned on the YouTube. Client prefers pre-roll if possible. We don't do pre-roll, so we didn't do that. Did we do the reads though? I don't remember. I'm just I'm looking in our email here. Yeah, see, but this is, you see what I'm saying here? If we might have done this read, we don't even know about it. How many of these people on your list are being implicated that don't even know if they did the read or not?
And that's absolutely a good question. A lot of these people,
I don't know if we did. I don't remember it, but we have a chain of emails here where we were going to do onboarding with them.
But I get what he's kind of trying to say. Even though we don't know what is going on, they for some reason want to give us money to stay alive.
What?
What are you saying?
Like
Yeah,
no,
like
what I'm
you-
saying is like he's still saying even though we don't know what's going on, they for some reason still want to give us money to stay alive.
So so you think we fit into some kind of?
No. I'm just
You
saying
are the
how
worst
as
lawyer ever. You
no,
are the
I'm
worst
just saying how
lawyer
as the
ever.
company. I'm just saying how as a company, like Jimmy Dore might not know that the wellness company is going after him, but the wellness company they like a message he's pushing, so they're like, here's some money, let's keep you alive.
Actually, I'm putting the laser dick on you right now. You can't.
Yeah, please. That's my whole thing. Obviously there's been talk about Black Rifle Coffee. We've had a couple, people yell at me because we have a crypto sponsor, but working on shows, the three of us, the booker, the person who does ads, I have a social media person, we have someone who's doing shorts for, there's a lot of people that keep this train on the tracks. It's like, but that's my whole, for me, dude, and this is going to be the story of this episode, and which sucks because it's a great episode, is that sometimes people just want to pay their bills.
Yeah.
And I could understand if you go, hey man, like Mel K isn't talking about this. Well, I think Mel K talks about a lot of what we call dangerous topics that warrant to me that she is somebody, like she came on and talked about the family in which we do not discuss twice with us. Once just in passing, she was on it and it got us in deep trouble. That's just my opinion. It's just a hard thing to do because, eventually, like, the Ian Carroll shit.
Yeah.
So Ian Carroll, we've had guests come on, talk, call out Ian Carroll, and I've defended him because he's been on a show a couple times. He was a nice guy, and then he has that thing around his wrist, and he said his dad gave it to him. Then another content creator found the thing and said that was some Kabbalistic wristband.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it gets like I get called a Freemason all the time. I'm not a Freemason. The things I've learned about Freemasons, they love telling you they're Freemasons. Like,
Yeah, they really do, don't they?
One of my very good friends is a Freemason. Lives in Vegas, and we had a guest come on and tell me he was my handler. And it's just like, no, dude, he's just a dude that I find extremely funny. And he met me through Brian Callen. But if I was a Freemason, I would tell you I'm a Freemason. I'm not a Freemason. That's it. I don't know, man. I don't want this to be the center of the discussion because you're such a great researcher. But who else is on this list?
So let me pull this back up here real quick. I mean, we could even get into like the 1775 coffee, and they sponsored like Dan Bongino and like Fresh and Fit. They sponsored the Tates. But
the Tate, I damn sure believe. Is Tim Pool on this list anywhere? Because I know, or is he just all his money from Russia?
Those guys, all these guys, I totally see it. Maybe because I don't.
Not Candace.
So Candace isn't paid. She did get a contract from the wellness company at one point, but now she's getting
wellness companies or a particular wellness company,
like the wellness.
That's the name of the company.
Okay,
yeah. That's the one that's tied to like Eric Prince and Mike Flynn, and
that's the one that we had the email chain about. I don't think we did the read though. I have no memory of that. If we did,
but there's companies like Tax Network USA that are sponsoring Russell Brand, Dave Rubin, Donald Trump, Kimberly Guilfoyle, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, Lex Friedman.
It sounds like just
Ben Shapiro.
All right wing commentators, huh? Is that
like if you go at this group like over that you show here versus the other group. Now I would agree with you on people like Cat Turd and stuff like that because they have one-sided push narrative.
Cat Turd?
Cat Turd's this famous Twitter thing, and he got busted because he was pushing that soda thing should be Sodagate. So I agree with that. The Fresh and Fit guys, is it possible that at one point they were controlled? Because we all know he was the NSA.
Yeah.
Right. That's my whole thing about Wanda Sykes. I always go, why did Wanda Sykes make it? Well, she's a former CI, she's former NSA. She openly admits it now because she's proud of it. And then she went to Jeffrey Epstein's thing. Yeah. It seems like the people over here have more one-sided arguments than some of the people you show over there.
Oh, yeah. So I've noticed that a big commonality with the wellness companies specifically is it gets mostly people that push the health freedom stuff. So where I agree that we shouldn't, do vaccines, et cetera, these are the people that are then pushing ivermectin and those Z-Stack supplements and pushing all these products on people for a virus.
So you think Elijah Schaefer is controlled?
He gets money from 1775 Coffee and the wellness company. I would say that he would probably stay with the narrative that the virus exists at the very least. And other than that, I'm not quite sure like where he would differ. But
what's the color code there between green and red? What like I see that like Fresh and Fit and
the green is the company, the red is the influencers.
Fresh and Fit is green there.
Yeah, it was just their brand was the one that got the contract with 1775. It didn't have like specific payments for each of them.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's some deep shit right there, dude.
Okay. But I mean, you have like this Tax Network USA over here is. I mean, you have Candace Owens who was fighting with Roseanne Barr like a couple weeks ago. Yeah. They both are part of the wellness company. Candace is getting paid by Tax Network, the same as Ben Shapiro, who left apparently, and Matt Walsh. And then this Pure Talk that's also doing like Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Dennis Prager, Clay Travis. And it's basically just funding all these same people that pretend to like fight with each other. Or you have Jordan Peterson over here.
Walsh.
Yeah, Matt Walsh, Kimberly Guilfoyle. And these are all like Pure Talk, for example, is owned by some shady company called Tellrite Holdings.
Now, is Pure Talk a telephone?
Yeah.
group. Now, do you have anything with Mint Mobile?
I haven't looked into them, but I could.
Don't look into it, please.
Okay. And then
Tucker's been pretty good lately. I don't know. He's been turning around lately.
No, man.
You keep mentioning contracts. Now, do you know that they have contracts, or are you just saying that based on them doing reads for them?
This would either be that, and when I said contract, I guess I kind of misspoke. I meant like agreement or some sort of like sponsorship or endorsement or something. But it's either there's proof of them having a discount code or landing page on the company site, or I have found content of theirs where they have done a read or put it in the comments. Or
So it could just be an affiliate relationship.
Potentially, yeah. Now the Pure Talk one I know is specifically like all of them say like today's sponsor or brought to you by or something like that. I would assume that's some sort of like prepaid arrangement.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that without being paid.
But like this.
Yeah, they definitely get paid.
Yeah.
Could it also be that based upon the size of the show, that
absolutely
these groups are the only ones that could afford them? Our show's smaller than 90. Most of the people you said.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that they're getting sponsored by them because they're the only ones who can afford to reach that kind of audience?
I think that is potentially a case. And I also don't want this approach like if they're on this map, end all be all, they're evil bad guy or because like there's a guy on here that's sponsored by 1775 Coffee that's like a gamer for Rumble, like a Rumble gamer. I don't think he's out there sowing false narratives and shit like that, but it's proving that these companies that are connected to the like Blackwater, CIA, and all these people that are pushing this Trump savior narrative or the wait and see narrative are funneling money into all these different people for it could be a different reason for each person, even.
It's funny. I've tracked it down now. We never did the reads, but we were getting emails from them, and she just followed up with us a couple of times. She said. Last time was in November. I hope all is well with you and a nice weekend. I wanted to check in before the holiday to see if we can set up a time to talk about a partnership. And then it seems none of this is confidential. So it says their mission is to partner with like-minded individuals to support medical freedom. That means creating a seamless experience to ensure people have what they need in a variety of emergency situations, minus the red tape. TWC is how they call it for short, has brought together some of the most courageous doctors in the world to build a parallel healthcare system through the common thread of, quote, putting patients before profits. Our chief medical board, including Dr. Peter McCullough, is composed of genuine humans who believe in all caps here, actual science.
And I find Peter McCullough to be a liar.
Yes.
Yeah, he's on. We think your audience would benefit from knowing about some of our emergency kits. And then they have a series of emergency kits listed here. Hand-selected scripts and contents for a variety of life emergencies are delivered to your door through a seamless digital process with no doctor appointment. Yeah, so we never got any farther than that. And I guess we won't now, but...
All right.
But it is interesting. Well, I mean, obviously the pharmaceutical companies have network news on lockdown. And this thing that RFK Jr. says he wants to do is eliminate advertising, which I think would be a huge plus for humanity.
Yeah.
When every commercial is a pharmaceutical commercial, you end up getting in trouble. And they control the narrative and you see that with Nike and ESPN. If you continue talking about LeBron James being on steroids, we're going to pull all of our advertisement, and then ESPN would just go and just fall and collapse on itself. But I would have to see, and I don't know how you could do this, what percentage of budget some of these sponsors are to the point that they can control the narrative. And what aren't they talking? That's to me the biggest thing. What aren't they talking about? A lot of people give Mike Benz a lot of shit because he never says it's again, that goes against probably his DNA. And I feel for that guy, but I think he's good. Do you not like Mike Benz?
I believe he is on my list somewhere. It might not be this one, but I have put him on a list somewhere before.
Oh, no, dude.
I can't remember why.
Can you list the people you don't think are controlled?
No. The only person I trust is myself.
That might be a smaller web even.
Let's say you do this show. Everyone's like, you're the bravest. You took on that sloppy Mexican, that emo dude, and that drug addict, sex addict. You fought the fight, and suddenly your numbers blow up, and people want to advertise for you. I don't know if you have a day job, and it's okay if you do, because I think an honest day's work is very respectful. I think anyone who goes back and just pays their bills doing an honest day's work is respectable. But let's say you blow up off the show, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of sponsors come to you. Because the reason we do sponsor on this show is because we come from the comedy world.
Mm-hmm.
And the comedy world, that was part of the game. Get big enough to get sponsors. I talk to all my friends like, hey, if you get 10,000 views and listens combined, you can go on this advertise cast and start getting people to help you make money to pay your bills, and maybe you can do this full time. But let's say that happens to you, 7 C's. Mm-hmm. 7 C's blows up, and you get contact. Let's not say by 775 Coffee, but let's say Johnny's Car Wash. Mm-hmm. Is Johnny's Car Wash is all over the country, and they want you to go to Johnny's Car Wash. Would you have a problem with taking money from Johnny's Car Wash?
I think I would have to do some research, and if their principles aligned with mine and I wasn't able to find it, like for an example, I have an affiliate with Above Phone. I think you guys do too.
Yeah, we love them.
Yes.
I didn't agree to that until I interviewed their CEO directly and looked into everything, his claims about Cellbrite not being able to crack the phones and things like that, to make sure it was truly like legitimate. And then now, I am affiliated with them, but I haven't sold a single one, and I'm really bad at selling myself.
Well, the truth is they're very expensive.
Yeah.
So it's like hard to sell $1,000 product. It's just hard, especially in this economy. It's not the easiest thing to do. So they have to understand that, and they will eventually, hopefully, over time, be able to lower the price on that. We love them.
The iPhone they're subsidized by the cell carriers, so nobody actually feels that, because those things are just as expensive, but they're subsidized. It's a disadvantage.
Yeah, it's really hard, but they have an honorable product, and it's great. So Burger King comes here. You're not going to work with Burger King if they're throwing you $5,000 an episode. Oh, respect on that.
Yeah. I accepted the fact that I was going to die poor like 10, 15 years ago. And
how old are you?
I'll be 33 this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to cover?
I guess the end of it would be, just look at Peter Thiel, look at Elon Musk, the false dichotomies. I'd love to talk to you about Babylon sometime, but I know we don't have time today. And getting into like the Abrahamic religions and the
I would love to talk about that.
Yeah, I have.
Can you give us a 10-minute version of it?
I can. I have this theory that I don't think I've ever heard other people say before. Now I don't know if that's like my own lack of research or what. But I did some
nice. There we go.
Tracing.
That's what we're all about.
Of like the story of Noah and his three sons, and how they were like different complexions and all had different names. Translating the names to show like Japheth meant beautiful and expansive, and it shows like the Ashkenaz moved north to the fields and in the mountains. Like Gomer, these are all like different descendants of the sons of Noah. And just kind of looking at everything, I found out that son doesn't necessarily mean like descendant specifically. It could mean follower or somebody that came after you, sharing the same beliefs. It could be somebody that you mentored. It could be a group of people even. And I think that what happened with these is I don't think Noah was a single guy, is my theory. I think if there was like a some sort of way to tell like the spreading out of people, I think Noah may have been like a euphemism for people coming down from like a mountain somewhere. The flood having like pushed all the animals and the people up to this mountain and make it look like a boat. And once the flood started to subside, they were able to all kind of come off of that. But you start to see, you have his son Ham, which is hot in Hebrew. And these are all the areas that the descendants of Ham went, which were like the lower end desert areas. And then you had Shem, which in Arabic loosely translates to shelf, or the shelves of the Middle East. Ham translates to hot. Japheth is beautiful and expansive. The Shem or Shemite or Semite, as the name
Shem,
came
yep.
from, is some original text could loosely mean like shelving or shelf rack or shelves. And these mountains right here are called the shelves of the Middle East.
Whoa.
It says that primarily refers to the coastal plains bordering the major bodies of water like the Mediterranean, Persian Gulf, so on and so forth. And then the son or follower of Ham was Canaan. Canaan often interpreted as referring to lowlands, with the name potentially deriving from a Semitic root meaning to be low, humble, or depressed. And then Sidon was the son of Canaan, and Sidon literally means like fishery or fishing town. So I think these names that they like gave these sons, descendants, followers were actually just describing like the areas that they went to and the different traits that they sort of took on. And when I look,
it is weird to think that three sons could go out and populate the world. Like,
yeah,
that is an interesting take.
Or fucking Tripoli brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them isn't having any kids. It's going to be a very uphill battle.
Yeah. And it seems like I'm under the belief that the Kabbalistic mysticism, like ancient Babylonian shit, started with this group and slowly spread out, changed different things over time. They spread Islam through the Silk Road to the east and Christianity to the west, and they were able to sort of pit both sides of the world against each other in perpetuity. Bethlehem, House of El, or Saturn worship, and I think that's what all of this is, and like the institutional Abrahamic religions and stuff. And then I have like the lineage of Jesus mapped out and some stuff about like the three religions, like is Isis, Ra and El for Israel, the Chronos, Saturn, the Shabbat, the tent, and Canaan. There's so much stuff, man. I'd love
Dude,
to
come back on and do
here.
this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come back on and do this. I would love that.
Yeah,
it's been a great episode. It's been a great episode. You dropped the hammer, and this is the show. It's a great show. Everything will be discussed, and whether it will be a discussion on it, and that's how it goes. One more time, Seven C's. Please tell them where they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active. YouTube for now. Fingers crossed. Rumble, Substack, and eventually Odyssey. And then before I do go, Sam, I wanted to show you. I told you I bought your secret shirt.
Oh my God, you did.
Yeah. Back when you were in my neck of the woods, and I just didn't bring it. One of these days, I'd like for you to sign it if I can.
Well, I would. You should come down to the Bohemian Grove.
I planned on it, actually. I was gonna
come and
surprise
hang,
you,
dude. Come and hang. Come and bang,
Yeah.
bro. Let's have a good time. Should be a great thing. Those guys dropped. We just dropped their episode today. It was phenomenal, just like this one. And yeah, I'm totally down with coming down and hanging out, dude. I would love to see you.
Absolutely. I mean, I had this whole thing planned where I was going to go up to you and say, we got to stop meeting like this.
Yeah. It was a pleasure to meet you when we met at Third Eye Festival. Carnival, excuse me. Steve put on a great show.
Oh, yeah.
In the middle of a hurricane or whatever was going on. I don't even know. Half the people through it didn't even show up. I was like, damn, dog, I'm doing stand up in a barn.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome to see.
It was a lot of fun, dude. It was a great time, and I had a great time. Let's break down this episode. Okay, what'd you guys think? Xavier Guerrero, what'd you think?
I was getting scared. My name, not tinfoil hat. I was about to say Xavier Guerrero was gonna be on it. Then we're gonna scroll down, see Johnny Woodward, and then what about Sam Tripoli? I was getting scared.
Yeah, you got your name wrong and my name wrong somehow when you just
you might have gotten a bad batch of the microdosing.
Whose name didn't you? Whose name wasn't on there?
Well, when he goes, you might know some names. I thought he was going to talk about Rogan. I was like, oh god, here we go.
Got everybody but Rogan. It seems.
That's funny.
Which again,
they probably couldn't afford Rogan, honestly.
Well, that's my whole thing. I get very nervous. When you see people like Cat Turd, obviously put like that Dom Luke or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that guy
he like takes other people's videos, he puts a watermark on them, puts it out like he discovered it. And then he's like, "Oh, I love Israel," and then he's like, "I can't wait to go there." It's so obvious that they just got to him. We didn't see you brought up Tim Pool. He wasn't on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I just think I
just don't want it to be like I like Seven Seas. I think he's a good guy.
Like that guy. Yeah, he's great.
I don't want this to be an issue because I think he does great work. I will defend Jimmy Dore to the end of days because again, I have personal relationship with these people, and I have called out people that I've been very close to, like Anthony Jeselnik doesn't probably like me right now because I called him out for his marketing ploy and throwing all of his old friends under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not afraid to call people out. I called out Jeffrey Ross, who is the nicest guy in the world to me. Like, I've called out people. I just know that there's people that have really great energy and they mean well. And it's like, we were kind of talking when you were taking a piss, is that, I've had conversations with Jimmy Dore, and Jimmy Dore's talking about everything, but Jimmy Dore is on his journey. You're talking about a guy who went from a unrelenting socialist to calling out both sides of the party. I mean, he does stuff about Republicans and Democrats now. I don't really see what it is. If it wasn't such a big part of the show, I would have probably say let's not even put that out. But I'm going to put it out because I have to. I cut out things where I think it's going to start problems, but I think it would be unauthentic to leave that part out.
And we demonstrated in real time how tenuous, how thin that connection is by saying someone has an affiliate link, and on no other evidence than that, tainting them.
Well, here's the whole thing, dude.
I'm not being mean to the guy. I like the guy. I just think that
I know, but I just don't want to.
But no, Sam. This is people's reputations. He's putting people's names on a list that we're about to share with 100,000 people potentially. It's saying they're controlled opposition because they have an affiliate link somewhere. I think we have to say a word about that right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're not being mean to that guy, but if you're going to put people's name on a list, I would think you would at least absorb some of their content, listen to a few episodes, maybe examine some patterns, see what, and it's just impossible for him to have done that as massive as that web is. Because you saw it in real time, me finding those emails. I couldn't even remember. None of us remember if we did the read. So obviously, this is not, some intimate relationship we have with our sponsors.
Yeah. Well, people pick their journey and how they want to live their life, and I'm okay with that. I just think that we get into dangerous places when, Jimmy Dore told me he was like getting X number of million of views on his clips on his YouTube show, and they've knocked off like 5 million views. Like, that to me is risking something that is going to hurt your show. He's risking talking about things that obviously people at YouTube don't want him talking about.
Well, did you hear Tim Pool? He talked about how YouTube came to him and said that they had handed him off from, and I didn't even know this was a thing. He had his own representative at YouTube that was a Democrat, and he got handed off to the right wing YouTube like handler.
That's
did you even
crazy.
know that was a thing, that you had your own handler at YouTube? And he said they called him, even though he's still a Democrat, but in effect, he voted for Trump. But
What up? So what you're saying is that YouTube has its own like left and right department?
yeah, or at least the people that manage your channel. I don't know if maybe you get to a certain.
Well, how many times have I said that? If you go one side or the other, you get bigger. And that there are people who down the line, I would say Jimmy Dore fits into that, was very hard left at one point, and then now is in the middle, and he's seeing it's hurting his show because they don't like that. Because again, when you get into the two-party system, if you go hard right, hard left, that's where they want you to be because nobody comes together. It is non-linear warfare.
I just think it boils down to
somebody who does great work. I think she does great work.
Who?
And Mel K. I mean, she's friend of show, and I enjoy her work. She's very passionate, and she lays a lot on the line. And I just think, obviously there's people like X22 who was deep into the Q stuff that we believe now is a intelligence agents movement, but a lot of it was right.
I think Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew, says you will know them by their fruits. You will know people by their deeds. The people that have faith, the good people, you will know them by the things they do. And I think we have to judge people by the things they say and do on their shows, not by some coincidental ties to a coffee company that happens to be owned by a dickhead private.
And I also don't think there's an issue, and this is what I get into a fight all the time with people. There's nothing. My dad said this a long time ago. My dad's not a perfect person, but he instilled a lot of great wisdom into me. And one of them was never hate a guy for making $1. It's very easy when you're young to live a very idealistic life. But for me, when you get to a certain age, you realize you have to pay your bills.
And you're not talking selling out either, though. You're just talking about
saying like
money.
So I guarantee you Jimmy Dore has an ad person, and this ad person gets approached by companies that want to be sponsored on the show, that want to run an ad on the show. I guarantee you that no one's going, okay, what is this? What is that? What is this? Well, what connections to this? Because it's so deep. It's like, even 7 C's is like showing us information we've never seen before. Even if you get into Roseanne, like, it's pretty obvious why she's pro-Israel. It's like she has wiring that has, since she's been a little girl, has been telling them everyone wants to kill you and your people because you're so successful. And that is done on purpose. So that's my opinion, dude. And
for a guy who's done a lot of podcasts, you don't understand. When you get an email saying we want to sponsor you, you're just stoked. Yeah. You're just stoked. You're getting paid to do something you sometimes love.
And we have turned down sponsors.
Yeah. Especially stuff like medical.
So that's my whole thing. It's just, I don't know, man. I shouldn't have asked. What was this fucking link about? Because
should I reply to the wellness company or
no? Don't.
No.
I mean, I'm Italian. I talk with my hands every time. I go, oh, okay, there we go. Put the hand down, because people will just take it and be like, run with it, and they'll do a still shot of something and make it into something. And it's like, if and again, this is not about 7 C's. This is about the overall problem of conspiracy theorists eating each other alive is that the elites are here, the politicians are here, and the rest of us are here. And if you're fighting here, that becomes a big problem.
Yeah.
Now, if you go, hey man, watch these guys. They have that's a lot. If you go, hey man, watch these guys. They have this sponsor, and this sponsor is connected to this dark arts entity. I don't have any problems with that. But what I do have a problem with saying it's corrupted their morals.
You know
because
who we
now
didn't see on there? You know who
What?
we didn't see on there? That's usually for us. He's pretty Sean Ryan.
Oh yeah, that was wow.
Yeah, that's one that for us he's like super controlled op, and I didn't even see him at all. I was like, okay.
Probably
where's
can't
he?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When it started becoming a discussion, I feel like we didn't get the full understanding of the map. So
Yeah.
I don't think we saw all the names that are on there. But you get into someone like Candace Owens, who I like what she's doing because I think she's truthful. But you go, how is she allowed to have so many people see her show?
Dude, she gets her live is insane.
And then it gets into this whole thing that we've talked about, like, my belief that a big role of Hitler was to scare our European to move to Israel because that fulfills prophecy. So this whole thing with, oh my God, these influencers, I can't walk down the street, and Dylan, who's a left ankle of, on Conspiracy Social Club.
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
He's like a quarter. I think his left ankle is.
I got you.
But he talks about how someone ripped a Star of David off his sister-in-law, one of those two things. So, that fits into this feeding of this hysteria, which is meant to run people over to there to fulfill prophecies for two of the Abrahamic religions. I don't know what Islam's take on that is, but Christianity and Judaism both want all the Israel because that fulfills prophecies. Now, the results of those prophecies are different for each one. One to rule the world, and the Christian version is burn in hell. So it's an interesting take.
Yeah.
But again, what was the saying about the bearing of fruit, Johnny? One more time?
I'll read the whole. Let me find the passage. I had pulled it up. Okay. This is from Matthew 7:16-20, Sermon on the Mount. This is the NRSV version. You will know them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorns or figs from thistles? In the same way, every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. So every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire by the Lord. Thus you will know them by their fruits. So, look what flows from a person. You can judge their soul, their intentions by what flows from them.
Yeah. So again, what do they talk about? What don't they talk about?
Yeah.
That's to me. And you can even apply that to Candace Owens, who I think talks about almost everything. And it goes back to the big chin retard who thinks if you don't believe Morgan Freeman is Jimi Hendrix, you're controlled ops. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. And I've offered him to come on the show, and I would not call him a big chin retard on the show. I would give him a chance. And even with 7 C's, even though I vehemently, is that the word, Johnny?
Vehemently, you can say it the
vehemently disagree with a couple of people he has on that list, like Jimmy Dorans and Mel K. I will allow him to give his side, and it would be a productive, because I don't want people thinking they come on the show and it's going to be an argument. The whole point of the show is to let people talk about what they want to talk about. I just feel sometimes there needs to be a little bit of a discussion on what's going on if it's involving. Maybe I have a blind spot for friends. I don't know, but that's kind of how I feel.
I knew the list or the diagram was legit when I saw Lex Friedman. I was like, okay, there's some truth in
No,
this.
there are some guys, and we can go, what is he talking about? What is he not talking about? What is he defending? What is he?
Is him just having one person who's controlled opposition out of like 100 though? Does that mean it's legit? You know what I mean? Or is it just named like 70% of the people who talk about politics on the internet?
Yeah.
Conspiracies, you know what I mean?
Well, I love Seven Seas, and I hope that he still loves us.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think he's just, he's just trying. I think he's like us in that he likes to try on ideas and kind of see where it leads him. You know what I mean? And those charts, which I think are amazing.
And then,
are his
how much money does this company have?
Well, if it's connected to the military-industrial complex, you could have unlimited money. But again, it goes into what's the fruit? That's my whole opinion. What is the fruit? So, guys, if you go to samtripoli.com, use the promo code tinfoil, you too can get in. You too can check out my dates. Go to samtripoli.com/events. We're going to be in Costa Mesa. We're going to be in Cleveland, Ohio. Costa Mesa is either happened last night or it's happening tonight. We don't know. No, it happened last week, so past that. Cleveland, Ohio, Pittsburgh, PA, San Diego, California, and Boston, Broadbrook, Connecticut, Kansas City, and then I think we're done there. And then also, you can even get on samtripoli.com, but Black Crack Robots is out. And it's got 6,000 views. It's a small channel. I'm growing it.
It's going.
But people like it. And then my other one, which is called Potty Mouth, that's coming out in like 2 weeks. That's like 45 minutes of crowd work. That one is a wild show because it's a drunk Saturday night show. So I'm going to be putting out those more and more. Go to samtripoli.com. Check out all my stuff. Go down. My premium content's fire. We did a show last night. It should be up soon. With the guys, whatever this is. Johnny, talk about Cash Daddy's Patreon because it is fire from what the word on the street is.
Yes, yeah, we took a week off from Cash Daddy's, but we'll be back next week. The Patreon is, it's just Howie, Dewey, and this great community of people who are seeking like an education in finance and investing and retirement. And how he's kind of leading the way there. He's the mind.
Look, he's giving you puts. He's telling you where to put. If you don't understand put.
Yeah, and it's a lot of stock. It's plays. Most of them he gives you, if you're not comfortable doing stock options, he can just give you like a stock to invest in. Also, typically with most of the plays, they're good for that too, like a long-term hold. But I would say first and foremost, it's a way to educate yourself about for you to take hold of your own, financial situation, your future. And
all right, go back to samtripoli.com. I'm telling you guys, go down. Chaos Twins is coming, everybody. Grab your issue now, issue number 2. We love the Live Long Better formula. Can you make it bigger? Check that out, guys. He's a huge sponsor of the show. All you gotta do is click on it, read his stuff, check it out. And he's going to help you live a more healthier life. I mean, he's been on the show before. We love him very much. He's a tinfoil hat t-shirts.com. That's killing it right now. If you go to tinfoil hat t-shirts.com, look at that. The global domination, all that stuff is there. You can grab a shirt right now. It's a great way to support the show. Go back one more time. Can you make it smaller now so I can see what we're talking about here? Make this. There we go. Rife Technologies, crushing it right now. Rife Technologies, the real Rife machine, Matt Rife, who looks like he's making speedy recovery. If you want to get your body centered, it's a great machine to do that. You can learn more on their website. Buy gold and silver from Wise Wolf Gold and Silver, the Mineral King himself, Pat Miletich, UFC Hall of Famer. He's going to give you stuff to detoxify you, make your soil better. All that stuff is great. We're huge. Hydrogen brown gas. You guys still love it. Keep getting it. Harley Ray, if you're looking for candles, crystal sage, great place to go. I am going to work with Chemical Free Body. I'm getting some nicotine stuff going on. I want to make tinfoil hat nicotine. Let's do it. Make it going. Our good friend Joel Staley, got to get you in shape. EMF rocks to stop that dirty electricity. Prometheus. Leonardo Joni is getting a Prometheus website. She listened to me. And if you love our good friend Xavier Guerrero and his like really incredible, smart or incredibly stupid, either one, his questions, go to Brain Supreme, next level shit, check it out, and then go. You can get on all the telegrams, go down, and then all my audios there. I got to put up Doom Scroll, and check out Doom Scroll. It's every Tuesday at 4 p.m. The most educational hour on the internet. It's an hour and a half of pure power, very entertaining, and it's a great show. And all the videos are there. And then again, let's say you can't find the YouTube. Black Crack Robots is on samtripoli.com plus the radio show. Anything else, guys? Xavier.
Hit that like button, subscribe, and go to fullytoxic.com or tinfoilhats.com. We got new tinfoil hat, beanies, all that stuff. Go get it over there, please.
Johnny.
Yeah, go check out Broken Sim. We just did a crazy episode with the guy from 90 Day Fiance. This guy Sarper.
How's it doing? Are people liking the episode?
Audio's great. Yeah, the video's it's on Rumble or going up on Rumble as we speak. I had to pause it while we were recording, but yeah, so check it out. It's a good episode. I got a lot of feedback from people like, Johnny, I didn't know you listened to 90 Day Fiance. Me and my wife, it's the only thing we can agree on. I got like 3 different people just messaged me today about that. So
Johnny loves Brain Rot Entertainment. I do too. It's called Ink Master. All right, guys, enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
This is one of my favorite people on television. You're gonna his name. I'm gonna struggle with it. Sarper is his first name. Yeah. He's from 90 Day Fiance. Gerwin, is that it? Is that right, Sarper? Guin. Yes. Guin. My apologies.
It's weird to worship somebody and not know how to pronounce.
Well, they
their
never
name.
on the show. They never say their family names on the show.
Oh, okay.
It's all just first names. Sarper.
To be honest, I forgot how to pronounce my name too.
Why? How long you been in America?
It's 8 months, and normally my name is Sarper. Sarper, and it's difficult. But right now I'm calling myself Sarper.
Okay, making it easier for Americans.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
That's good marketing.
Like an Harper with an S.
Respect on that.
So,
I appreciate
so
that.
Great.
So, you've been in America eight months.
8 months, yeah.
And do you like it?
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it, and I'm still trying to blend. There are differences, but the weather is so good in Los Angeles.
You went right to the peak place.
Yeah.
Even though LA's in a weird time right now, it's still great.
It is perfect. I mean, I traveled more than 20 countries in my life.
Yeah.
This is the best weather.
So let's watch a little of this, and then we'll break down what I think you just need to do.
Okay.
It's over. It's not easy to do stand-up in your second language, right? It's not the easiest thing.
It's difficult, and there's a difference about the humor, I mean,
Are there Turkish comics out there?
In Turkey, I am always the one who makes jokes to people, but in Turkey, we like deeper jokes. Here, you have to be more superficial and simple.
Brother, nothing more real's ever been said on the show than what you just said right there. I mean, we're in a phase of stupid right now in America because that's a whole nother conversation. But let's just watch a little bit, and then I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions.
Your first time.
That's the first performance of my life. I was so
most people
anxious.
do it in a coffee shop in front of 5 people, and they bomb horribly. You're lucky if you bombed the first time.
I jumped, in front of audience. It was difficult, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
Can you, real quick, can you watch yourself, or is it uncomfortable?
No, you know what? I didn't watch this scene.
You haven't watched it?
Like, it will be the first time that I'll buy one.
Okay, we won't torture you.
There's some headphones next to you if you wish.
We won't waterboard you that long.
Is there a common thing that people don't want to watch themselves?
I hate watching myself.
Me too.
I absolutely hate
because
it.
You know what? I did mistake there. I should do this.
Yeah,
that feeling sucks.
But the great ones do that. They watch themselves and they fine tune it as they go, and that's why I just played a gay bar in Jacksonville. So let's see.
Okay, let's watch it.
Oh my God.
A lot of women my age do Pilates. We're going for that long, lean look, which I've achieved with my boobs. Oh my God.
I got kicked out 3 times last year for being too drunk.
By the way, where is this?
All from the same bar. If you're going to kick someone out, you make sure you close the windows.
There's in Hollywood. I don't remember the name.
Okay.
Cockaboo.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is on Hollywood. Okay. Yeah. That's a nice, cool-looking club. Here we go.
You know.
Man, your highlights are
before
perfect.
me, other people are performing, and listening to them makes me more nervous because I write the jokes that I laugh at. But, I mean, the culture is so different. Something which is funny for Turkish people cannot be for American audience.
Your chest?
And I also see Dan there. He is laughing. I don't want to be embarrassed.
No, we should explain. This is someone who's had a previous association with
Shekinah,
right? What was the?
Hold on. The guy sitting next to her?
Yeah, this guy Dan. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro!
The only reason for him being there is the production. Like, hey, let's bring Dan to this thing. Is that how? That
No. I mean,
really?
Are you guys cool?
We are not.
No, they're not cool.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app, or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
Welcome back to #1 podcast in the world. This is your boy XG, and this is XG Marks the Spot, and it's Conspiracy Christmas in July, baby. We got the Nelk Boys interviewing Netanyahu, Baby Satan. We got Candace Owens getting sued by Bridget Macron, the First Lady of France or First Man of France, I don't know. We got Tim Dilling interviewing Alex Jones after throwing up, and we got new Donald Trump allegations, and just to end it, cherry on the top, we got Hunter Biden comparing smoking crack to smoking a cigarette.
Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No. Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite.
Let's get right to it, baby. Let's go.
Go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat, tinfoil hat, tinfoil.